All right, we are officially going to begin day 2 of the 12 days of Christmas. So welcome everybody, and I'm so excited to be joined tonight with Kimberly McAlindin. So I want to give a big thank you, first of all, for everybody that joined us last night for the first day of this whole new thing that I've created, last minute albeit. So the attendance was amazing. Thank you everybody for showing up. And for those that couldn't and still hit me up a message, we really appreciate it. And so again, I will certainly restate my whole idea for all of this was just leading up to the holidays. And actually even Kimberly and I were talking about it earlier. You just get like so overwhelmed, and big shout out to everybody who has the forethought to organize Advents because that takes planning. That ain't never happening on my world. Then there's the whole like Vlogmas, which we have to talk about. And then the abridged version, which Sophie was talking to us about last night, the realness. I'm still not at those capabilities, but I really wanted to do something. And I started thinking about the fact that I feel like we all get to Christmas, and while we're all looking forward to New Year, I feel like in many ways the celebration just sort of like comes to a halt. And I started looking into the 12 days of Christmas, and lo and behold, it's a real thing. And I did a bunch It is. Okay, so I'm not that religious. That's okay. I'm happy to admit that. So I did not realize that the 12 days of Christmas was a real thing. I told Jill and she's like, it's not just a song. I'm like, no, it really is.
Oh yeah, that's when Epiphany happens, on the 12th day.
Oh, all right. Well, I had all these intentions of like having my notes in front of me because I was doing a ton of research leading up to it. Now, some things said it did start on the 26th, but I think as I've gathered, it technically would start on the 25th. But even though I've committed to 12 days of Zooming, who's going to Zoom on Christmas? So we're going to go from the 26th to January 6th. And again, my whole idea was just to invite friends of life, people I've worked with, people I admire, maybe don't really know a lot about. Some of you know some of the guests, some of you don't know some of the guests. So that's the great part about it. Now, I feel like everybody who's on right now, I'm excited to say that most everybody should know Kimberly and I as a duo. So I just love being able to say that. So that part is not new, but trust me, we have so much to be able to share with you guys tonight. And again, the whole part of this is to be able to provide you guys with community and love and spirit, spread joy, most importantly, more than anything else. But we do have sneak peeks for you because we got to tantalize you with a little bit of something. And so, yeah, so thank you so much, Kimberly, for jumping on board for this. I hope it might be a tradition. And the good news is for anybody who's not going to be able to see us live, they are going to be able to see this as I try to upload this to YouTube. And we're going to look into seeing if we can also put it on your YouTube as well. So that's where we're at. Now, I do feel like just in case, there's somebody who maybe doesn't know a little something about you. Why don't you give us a quick introduction?
Hi, everybody. Thank you, Tabitha, for having me. My name is Kimberly McAlindin, and I am the brains behind Knit a Rainbow. I have been in the fiber world for 40 plus years, but professionally since 2000-ish.
You started when you were like 5, right?
10.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I was 10 when I started knitting at an after-school program, and knitting has always been my, that great friend that you have that sometimes if you don't talk to them for 5 years and then all of a sudden you pick up the phone and you chat and it's like no time has gone by. That's kind of the way the knitting has been for me. And then I jumped down the rabbit hole of weaving and then spinning. You're welcome, Jennifer. And I really just love all types of fiber arts. So that's me. I have a website, knitarainbow.com, and I'm also on Ravelry. I've been the editor-in-chief of a knitting and crochet magazine, and I self-publish patterns now and have a YouTube channel where I spread my love and joy of knitting and instructing out into the
World.
world.
Well, I feel like you can't go too much farther without then, of course, explaining about, because back when I met you originally,
Right?
Knit a Rainbow was not a thing. And then you did take a little hiatus.
I did.
And then you came back. And so why don't you talk a little bit about that whole journey, not so much us yet, but the whole where Knit a Rainbow came from, because I love that story.
Oh, so Knit a Rainbow came about because when I mentioned that I was the editor-in-chief of a knitting and crochet magazine, that's not my favorite part of life. It sounds really great to say, and I was very honored to have that position, but it didn't end very well, actually. And when that happened, I kind of broke up with knitting and the fiber arts for a while. We were in a fight, and so I just started doing other stuff. Then my mom got sick and was in the hospital, and I had like a regular mom, and then I had a really, really sick in hospital mom. And so I would sit with her in the hospital when they were trying to figure out what was wrong with her. And that was 2.5 weeks that she was in the hospital, that they still didn't know what was going on. And so I was knitting, and someone had a baby, and I was making lots of hats, and I started getting my love of knitting again. And so I decided, so we found out that it was cancer, and I went and picked out yarn, and then I decided to make a shawl for myself. And my mom had woken up from one of her 10 surgeries in 12 days, and she said, "What are you knitting?" And I said, "A shawl." And she said, "For who?" And I said, "It's for me." And she said, "Do you love that color?" Which was really my mom's kind of little passive aggressive way of saying, like, that color is not going to do anything for you, honey. And it was January, and it was gray. So I returned the yarn, and I bought the most bright, happy colors. Well, so this is what she said to me. So I said, "Well, it's nice. It's gray. There's a little pop of chartreuse every once in a while." It was from Paris. And she said, "Honey, when life is hard and days are gray, knit a rainbow." And so I took back the yarn, the one that I didn't mind. And I bought the most happiest bright colors that I could imagine. And the shawl was by Joji Locatelli. And it was called Julie's Wrap, and it was done in one color, but I did mine in 3. And when I posted that on Ravelry, like, everything just kind of exploded, because it was a very popular wrap, a very, very popular designer, and mine looked a lot different than everybody else's. At the time, I also worked for a yarn shop who had a very large online presence that I was not used to anything like that. And so I went on there and explained that. And, I actually wore the shawl at my mother's funeral to give her eulogy. So that's where Knit a Rainbow came from. And then when I was 51, I had Knit a Rainbow tattooed on my arm. And what I love
That was
is
your first tattoo, remember?
my very first tattoo ever. And I love that when I am home and my adult children come home, one of the first things they do is they rub it. And it's like them saying hey to me, but also hey to their grandmother, who was a very large part of their life, So that's how Knit a Rainbow came about, and I haven't stopped. So I basically use knitting, color to help me through some of the darkest times of my life, actually.
Well, like you said, it's like that friend, and no matter how much time passes in between, it's like riding a bike,
Right.
you can,
And Katie asked, the knit stitches are the rainbow or knit stitches? Yes, they are. You see the knit stitches.
there you go.
Woohoo!
Love it. Love it, love it, love it.
You should have seen, everybody was getting like awesome stuff, and I was like, can I have a knit tattoo?
Hey, I've seen lots of people get different like knit tattoos. There's somebody, I don't even know who it is. They got basically like knit stitches. I don't know if it was around their arm, around their leg, like all the way circumferenced around. I saw a little stitch marker. I was like,
Oh,
okay,
I saw that too. Who is
yeah.
that?
I don't know who it was, but I remember seeing it. So
It's
I'm
very
like,
impressive.
"Ooh," and it was very detailed. So,
Yes,
and then there's me.
Shira, warrior princess.
Hey, I'll take it. I'll
You
take it.
total in Twilight, you would have like been with the hot guy that turned into a werewolf.
You know, I did not see any of those, but yeah, my mom, she loved those.
Totally
She
did.
read all the books. She didn't see the movies. And she was a big Anne Rice fan. I don't know if anybody else is. That's just like,
Interview with a Vampire.
yeah. Which again is, I see somebody raising their hand. Like, that's what I love about this kind of stuff. It's like the most random things came up. So every Christmas, I would be able to buy her the new Anne Rice book because it would always come out like Halloween until Anne Rice went to Born Again Christian, and then that all shut down. And then I'm like, shit, now what am I going to get my mom?
Is
So
that what happened?
yeah. She was doing all of those like, vampire books and all this kind of stuff. And there's nothing wrong with it, but she became a born again Christian, stopped writing those, and then her genre kind of shifted. And actually, now that I think about it, I need to look that up because since her passing, her children had gotten on and said that they were going to do some sort of like public memorial for her in New Orleans. And New Orleans is the one place my mom always wanted to go and just never had a chance to go. So I haven't seen anything about that. I need to look that up because like
Look
what better
that up.
way to be like, Mom, I got you. I'm gonna take this trip for you. So that's hey Erin, I see that you're on. But and we actually for anybody who is, because I've never read all the books, I really should in my mom's remembrance, but there was a character called Tarquin, and so we actually quite a while ago named one of our llamas. His name was Tarquin. He actually just passed on not that long ago.
Oh.
He since had lived with another customer, but I guess she came up with that name, and I think that was a character in one of the books or something. So
I never read the Mayfair Witches. I just wrote that down for all of you. Thank you for putting that in the and also did anybody read the series or watched it, a Discovery of Witches?
no.
Elizabeth? So good. Oh,
Is it like about like real witches? Like witches?
so it's about witches, vampires, time travel.
Books.
They're books, but there's also a series on A&E or something like that you can watch. I believe I paid for
It's
that.
on Discovery,
Discovery, that's right.
I think.
But I'll tell you, like, the main character, mine was way hotter than the guy that they had. In my mind's eye, he was like way hotter, way bigger. I don't know.
Oh.
It was weird. Anyway,
See, this is all the fun stuff. Well, now, okay, so before we get too much into our own rabbit hole,
I know.
and only because I want, no, but this is what's great about this. And, this is,
Deborah Harkness, Erin,
um,
author.
so why don't, just because I feel like I want this to be your platform more than anything, because I can talk forever. So why don't, again, for anybody who, there's a couple people that I think are a little newer. So why don't you talk about our journey?
So I was very involved in the Crochet Guild of America. Tabitha came to Nashua, New Hampshire.
Mhm.
We're rocking it out. Nashua, New Hampshire. So there was a marketplace there, and Tabitha came, and we just connected. I mean, it was just like, it's so pretty, and I loved it. And I was starting to spin, and she had like the spinning stuff with her, beautiful yarns, and so
And I was really new, like this was like really, really early on in my career. So like not even really knowing Kimberly, but like was sort of fangirling because like I knew she was like somebody and I was like nobody. So I was just like, oh my God, somebody loves my stuff.
So I actually did a couple designs for you back then. We collaborated on a couple designs, and they did well. And then like all things in life, we weren't together for a while, and then
Broke
like
up.
knitting,
We
and
broke up. Why don't you? We broke
we
up.
broke up for some reason, but
I don't know.
we we actually came back together because I saw on Instagram the great connector of I call it. I saw that Tabitha's mother had passed away, and I sent her a note and said, you know, I just want you to know it's the hardest thing I've ever done, you know, and I'm thinking about you. And then that opened up a dialogue again. And then we ended
But
up,
wait, not to interject. I think before that, yeah, it had to have been before that. Remember, we got positioned across each other at Vogue Knitting Live. I know
yes,
we won't like talk those details, but you were across in the land of the tutus, and I.
I was working for the yarn shop that I had worked for,
Yes,
and
yes.
you were across the way.
Yeah, we were across from each other. So I remember seeing you. And of course, we at least like said hello and stuff like
Yes,
that.
because
So,
I am a lady. And but I mean, really, I was like, oh my God, how are you? It looks
yeah.
so
Yeah.
good, looks great. You were like, yeah, great. Like, what are you doing over there? I was like, oh, you know, I work there. So we actually kind of got together there. And then I think I started following you because like I wasn't even, it wasn't, and then anyway, so then we got back together again. We went out on a date and in love.
And then we fell in love. And then we did a knit along.
And we did a knit along, which was extremely successful. It was the first for either of us, and it
Yeah.
was really incredible. And the thing that's so cool about it is that the color that we came up with, the special color, which is this color right here, we ended up calling it A Mother's Love. It was about the beach, which was like my mother's favorite place to be. And it was just kind of like a very healing thing, not for everybody in the knit along, but for Tabitha and myself together.
However, one of the most resounding things was there really were a lot of people that like joined the knit along or had a connection to the knit along because of our same connection, whether they lost a mother or lost a loved one, or, there really was, in a very positive way, there was a lot of people that, had that similar connection and wanted to be a part of it because of that, which is amazing.
It was wonderful. It was
Yeah.
really great. So, I mean, fast forward to now, we're still on the phone. We're doing collabs together, which I hear it's collab, not collab.
Oh, I didn't know. Couldn't it be like tomato?
I don't know. I have a college age daughter that pretty much knows everything. So she tells me. She's like, Mom, it's not collab, like colon. It's collab. I was like, oh, because it's called collaboration.
Right. But collaboration.
Collab. So anyway, let's start talking about
which
so
I'm ready to grab because I have everything all around me based on whatever we're going to talk about first.
We have done the shoreline shawl together. That's Tabitha's yarn. This is the Mimi hat, which was my most recent pattern. That is done with 2 skeins of Tabitha's worsted weight yarn. This is the warmest mofo in the world. I'm telling you, when it was like 4 degrees and you didn't even want to go outside and walk your dog, this thing saved my life.
And that's in the pink clove, which unfortunately right now we're sold out of, but.
I know, but you never, whatever.
Oh, we'll get it back.
So anyway, this is the Mimi hat. And is that the hat that you're wearing?
Oh.
Yes, I'm wearing the Mimi hat.
Oh, amazing.
I love it.
And wait, mind you, let's talk about how progressive Deanna is, because she called me and we're talking about colors. So I sold her on that color, which is actually naturally dyed in cochineal. And might we say, Deanna, that is now the Pantone color of 2023.
It is.
So look at you go. Look at you go, girl.
And Tabitha, you picked out this beautiful pom-pom.
Yes.
And I did it with the hair dryer. It fluffed it out.
That is a great trick with pom-pom.
Wow, it looks great against your skin. I love it.
It does. It's beautiful.
Thank you for picking it out.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
So those are the things that we have worked on.
No, well, then also don't forget, there's been the cutout cardi.
Oh, yeah.
But you know what? I thought of you. Wait, I have to stand up, but then you're only going to see my belly. This sweater that I have on, it so reminded me of it because look, it only buttons to here and then it's cut out so you can see like your buckle and everything. So when I put this on tonight, I was like, that reminds me of that.
Yeah.
And then you did the Sag Harbor vest for me.
Mhm.
So I think
There was like a crochet thing.
the Sag Harbor vest.
No, that's knit. There was I did like.
Oh my God! Wait, did you do the wide water cowl for me?
Mm-hmm.
I totally forgot about that. I mean, I have it, of course, because we're
Yeah.
always like, if somebody says they crochet, I'm like, wait, we have a few patterns for you, poor person, because you're so underserved. I totally forgot that you did that.
And I brought that to Vogue when I was a guest in your booth.
I totally forgot that. I am so sorry. There you go.
Are any of these patterns on Ravelry? They are on Ravelry. Well, no.
So I will say it's any of the patterns that Kimberly did for me exclusively. So those are my patterns and they are always free with the appropriate purchase of yarn. So don't do anything because we both have coupon codes for you. So yes, you can always get my patterns are free. You can go to my website, you can see them. Of course, the pattern's not there, but we gift the pattern with the appropriate purchase of yarn, and the picture will at least tell you like what you need and all that kind of stuff. But for the shoreline shawl,
that is on Ravelry. The Mimi hat is on Ravelry, and all my other patterns are available on Ravelry. If you look up Kimberly McAlindin.
So there you go.
Great. All right, what else?
Well,
Start.
so do we talk about the new Elizabeth? It's not homework. You should want to do it, right?
It depends how long things take. I mean, the shawl took me ages and ages. I didn't think I was going to survive.
You survived. You
But you
survived.
loved it, and you learned new things.
Hey, y'all. I just double checked in the dictionary. It is collab, not collab. It is collab.
Oh,
I love it, Beth.
shit, my daughter's
Thank
right.
you.
Ah!
I love it.
Don't tell her. Don't tell her she's right.
She'll be like, Mom, why do you say collab? I'm like, darn it.
Daughters always like to correct you.
True, but they will be there in the end.
Right.
Okay.
All right. So I can only give dates because the rest of it is in this lady's hands.
But
So
we are doing another knit along together. So
okay, I should see clapping. We should all be very excited.
clapping.
Elizabeth,
Myra
despite the fact that
clapped.
homework. Come on, we are
Myra
fine.
clappity clapped. So we're very excited. It is going to be a shawlish poncho thing. So it's not going to be something that you can wind around. It will be something that you put over your head that stays put, but there will be a couple different ways that you can wear it. In this knit along, thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Cheryl. Okay, so in this knit along, I did my homework. Hold on. You will learn, if you don't know already,
I feel like you need a drum roll.
provisional casting on, how to make your cables pop, textured stitches, German short rows in the round.
I'm out. Sorry.
Knitting off and edging and picking up stitches. It's not a lot. That's a lot.
If you do
I
video
didn't hear
again,
any deal breakers.
yeah, and if you do video again, Tabitha, you can totally do it.
Aw, thanks,
None of that
Erin.
is as hard as it sounds.
I'm sure it's not. It's always a time factor. And look, I make a valiant effort. And like I've said before, and I will be happy to say again, if I am solely here to provide comedic relief, I'm okay with that. 100%.
I remember when we were doing the first knit along, I was like gonna do it, right? And Tabitha's like, no, I want to like be in on it. And
I made a valiant effort.
I'm like, what am I gonna do with you? But it
Yeah,
ended up
but
being,
this time you could start early, get the instructions earlier.
so it ended up being so much fun, and it was really, really, really nice.
Right, I just realized she's like, what am I gonna do with you?
I know, you were like, yeah, I'm like planning on being there, and like I'll say fun things, and me, the teacher in me, I'm like, how's she gonna say fun things when I'm talking about, like I'm like, what the heck is she talking about? Like, this is a learning experience. But it turned out to be such a right. It turned out to be such a fun, amazing community. That was the wonderful thing that came out of it. And it was just, I don't know. I've done it's
And
been
excuse me, you and I were spinning one session because I can't
spin.
that was amazing. Like I had so much fun breaking out my wheel again and being able to
Jennifer came over to my house.
Yep.
And I got her to spend money, and she bought a wheel.
That's amazing.
Tried
You are
Mom.
going down the rabbit hole.
I
Down the
know,
rabbit
she's
hole.
only a small train ride away from me, and all of a sudden I said to my husband, like, I'm gonna have a fiber friend over.
Amazing.
It was so much
Amazing.
fun.
It was really fun.
Aw,
good,
hey,
good.
Katie's here. Hey, Katie. Okay, so what is this? I kind of have like I have a work.
Thank you, Katie, for saying it was so much fun.
I know, Katie is the best. I do have a working name.
Oh, this is
Are
all
you
right. I don't even know this.
Are you gonna say the dates?
Yes, I do. I brought my calendar, so I do have the dates.
All right, so while she's looking that up, the working name is called the Happy Hearts Shawl.
Oh, I love it.
Won't that be fun? I love it.
I love it. So yes, it's gonna actually
Not
kind of
until the llama has a name.
okay, look, January 6th, and I know that's Dawn. January 6th, and girl, I think I'm almost settled. And so yeah, just January 6th, that is the culminating to this whole 12 days of Christmas, is we're not only going to draw the raffle, but my baby llama is going to get a name, and we're just going to have a party. So I will say, for anybody that's on, I don't think I have too many of my locals on, but for anybody that's local, I'm going to make a party here. And so we're going to have a live party here. The rest of you will be Zooming with me. And then any of our guests, I'm going to invite them to be part of it as well. So yes. And
Want to see what I'm contributing?
What?
Want to see what I'm contributing to
Not yet. Wait, we have to go one thing at a time.
God, I'm just going to throw the whole thing out there.
So I will say though, guys, do hang tight with us because we do both have some coupon codes and things to share with you. But I don't want to make the event about that. So you have to stay with us until the whole time. And if you leave early, put something in the chat or we'll get it along to you, or you'll have to go watch the recording. So dates. All right. We actually worked this out. So it's going to kind of be around the same time. So the biggest thing was for anybody that is planning on going to virtual Vogue Knitting Live, I actually don't have that in my calendar, but I'm 100% sure that it's the weekend of the 10th, 11th, and 12th of February. So our thought was that we wanted to begin the knit along after that because two things are going to happen at at Vogue Knitting Live in person, Manhattan, New York City. Are you still coming?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Kimberly's going to be with me in my booth because we just want to have fun. And we are going to launch the sale of it. I mean, we'll probably do it beforehand, but we're also going to have a promotion at Vogue Knitting Live to sign up for the knit along there. Of course, we will have it online as well for anybody that can't be present. We do have another surprise, but I'll get to that. So we wanted to make sure we started it after the fact. So the dates are going to be February. It's going to be Thursdays again, like we did last time, 7 to 9 p.m., which mind you, when we started this the first time, Kimberly's like, 2 hours? Really? 2 hours. I'm like, Kimberly, I'm telling you, I'm like, I do community night and we're usually on for like 2.5 hours. She's like, I don't know. And right, like it just would go by like that. So we're still planning on 7 to 9 p.m. February 23rd, March 2nd, March 9th, and March 16th. So it'll be 4 weeks again, like it was last time. The structure will be virtually the same. And perhaps we will organize some things for kind of after the fact, but those will be the 4 dates. As it was last time, they will be recorded. Kimberly will be loading them up onto a special Facebook group that you can only be in if you've signed up for the knit along. So if you can't attend one of those sessions, don't think, oh, I'm not going to sign up. You have to have signed up, and then you'll be able to watch any of the ones that you might miss. So those are the dates.
There also will be in the Facebook group, there will be very specific technique.
And we'll be starting a new Facebook group because we can't have the old Facebook group because not everybody might sign up again.
Yes, I will put those in there for you, Gail. But
All right.
there will be very, very detailed tutorials on how to do each step. Also, whoever signs up gets 15 minutes of free time with me. So you can use that. Not everybody does, but if you are really stuck and if you do need extra help, you know, you can reach out to me and we can Zoom together and we can
Except as long as she's not traveling or there's something going on, because I will never forget. I was stuck. I'm like, help me. She's like, I gotta go out. I gotta do this.
I know. It does get busy around there and I do have someone graduating from college this year, which is unreal.
But that's not
can't
gonna be
believe it.
until May.
Yes, but it gets busy. You know, they have like parents weekend this, and thank you, Ruth Ann. Thank you, Ruth Ann.
Oh, okay. I was just making an effort to do that. I'll just delete that all now.
I know.
So can we just hang out for 15 minutes if we want to?
Is that you, Jennifer?
It's me.
Why don't you just come over? I know. I thought
Well, I
I was
mean,
gonna
that's
have this
true.
new
I could just,
fiber
like,
friend
knock on
like
your
come and
door.
hang out with me, and I was gonna go in and hang out, and it was like she came, she tried, she bought, she left.
Well, and that's one of the things that we talked about too. Like last year, it was kind of, not to say it was last minute, but Kimberly did come down to my farm and, you know, we had to get together. So we have talked
We will
about,
do that.
we've talked about doing something, you know, like that again. We will organize it with maybe a little bit more notice, maybe a different location. I don't know, who knows, but we're still going to try to do something in person so that anybody who feasibly, you know, can get to us. We'll do that.
And
And
Jennifer,
otherwise,
of course, if anybody wants to just hang with me for 15 minutes on Zoom, that I would love that. That would be awesome. I actually did that with Katie, who's on here.
awesome.
Yep. So that's a wonder. It's just a really nice way to get connected. Okay, let's talk about. Yeah, you do it. Okay, go.
Okay, so the other piece to this, which it doesn't necessarily have to go together, is for those of you that have been with me long enough, prior to COVID, before collabs were a thing, I started doing collaborations. And so I had this whole idea. So we are Life, Long Island Yarn and Farm, and our yarns are American raised and spun. So we call them American Life. So a little bit of a play off of NPR for anybody who listens to that. I kind of came up with the idea of American Life with fill in the blank. And so I will say my first one was with Christy Glass Knits. And then I also did one for our Long Island Yarn Crawl, and then COVID hit. And then I kind of shifted gears, and then it was more about having, we did another bunch of collaborations, but it was with indie dyers. So it wasn't really about me constructing a yarn with the person in mind. So I've gone back to that. basically my whole idea in the beginning was like, okay, somebody like Kimberly, for instance, or somebody like a personality that you guys know, or a designer, another designer that you really love, they're always working with other people's yarns. And I feel like they always have an idea in their mind, like if they could have a yarn, right? Like how many times you take celebrities and they've got their own sneaker, or, you know, they just have something with their name on it. So that was always my idea, because I have the ability to create a yarn from scratch pretty much any which way I want. So I said to Kimberly, let's do that this time. And we started chatting, and this was a while ago. This has been totally under wraps. It is getting shipped to me as of January 6th. But we're not going to release it until we get closer to Vogue Knitting Live. It will be at Vogue Knitting Live, but we will also make sure that we have it online as well. But you are definitely going to want to be in the secret sauce for that, to be able to get your first grab, because this is literally, when I did it with Christy Glass, we actually had 100 skeins. It sold out in a flash. And then I was able to do another run. I can't promise that I'm going to do another run of this, because this is like specially dyed, like specially designed. So when I talked to Kimberly, my whole idea is there are some boundaries, meaning, you know, don't tell me to go get like camel fiber or something, you know, like I have certain fibers that I can work with. Everything still always has to be American based or American sourced. And of course I can get alpaca, I can get llama, I can get a couple different kinds of wool. And we bonded originally over doing this knit along, because Kimberly's original shoreline shawl that she created was all hand spun from a fleece that she had purchased, washed, carded, spun, and then knit. And it was using Rambouillet, which is a particular breed of sheep. They are in the fine wool breed category. So it's really just about, I think, one step down from Merino. It's definitely in that upper echelon. They are a very tall breed of sheep, so very difficult for me to shear, but thankfully they're very docile, so they tend to cooperate very well. So I do have an affinity for them. And one of the things is that the fine wool breeds of sheep, the finer the wool, the more wrinkles the sheep has, kind of like a Shar-Pei dog, if you think about that. And so a Rambouillet is not quite as wrinkly as a Merino, so it's also not as hard to shear, but they do still have what we call these dewlaps, or these folds underneath their neck that you always have to be a little aware of. It's a very short staple, but a very springy, very, very springy wool. So that was something that she loved. And then she said, I love sparkle. And we wanted to stay natural. So that was the other thing I remember. And I said, well, if we're going to add a little bit of sparkle, but we're going to have white Rambouillet, you might not really be able to see it enough. So there's going to be a little hint of, I did, for those of you that have been with me, I did a yarn for the Jimmy Beans Wool pop-up shop that I really loved. We called it Harvest Moon. And you specifically told me you didn't like the pops of Sari silk, like Celestial Sky and Purple Twilight, but you like a longer silk because you like that feel. So I had the silk specially dyed. Look what I do for you. So the silk was
I'm
specially
so worth
dyed,
it.
but in a natural color. I was kind of going for like a golden, like light, I'm not going to say brown because nobody likes brown, but we were kind of going for like a golden kind of color. So here's the thing, when it shows up at my door, I have no clue what it's going to look like. So it's going to be just as exciting for me. So all I can do is take my ideas and then have that conversation with the parties that helped me to make it. And then we'll see what happens. So it's going to be a sport weight, which is our 200 yard skein. So potentially can also go, we were talking about, it could also be a yarn that you could purchase to do this knit along with, because the knit along is going to be using our sport weight yarn. The gauge is obviously going to be a little bit different because Rambouillet is, again, as I said, very springy. So it's going to be a bit loftier than our normal alpaca wool silk blend. But so it can kind of work together with the knit along. It can be separate, but either way, it's going to be something that I've not done since 2019. So I'm super excited about it. Thank you guys. I see you guys. Thanks, Erin. I see you being all excited. So I'm super excited. So again, like I said, I got news today. It's going to ship January 6th. So I'm going to have it in my hands very, very, very shortly.
Is it one color or different colors?
Well, like I said, it's going to be a bit tweedy, not, you know, not like a strong tweed, but the best way that I can try to describe it, but the whole batch is going to be just that. You know, it is a yarn design. So it's American Life with Kimberly McAlindin or American Life with Knit a Rainbow, whichever she wants. So it's her yarn that I've basically GC'd, general contracted, specifically for her. And then Kimberly, of course, gets the proceeds of the sale. So that helps her, helps me, it helps everybody. So we're super excited about it.
I can't believe it.
And hey, look, if it goes well enough, I mean, what designer doesn't need their own like line of yarns? Like we could just do
Right.
it again.
Right. So it will, you know, it will have like little hints of that like brownish kind of goldy.
And it's going to have a little bit of icicle. So that's going to catch ever so slightly. It's not a sparkle. It's, you know, it's a shimmer, as we call it. So there's just going to be a slight shimmer that's probably going to only catch a little bit, you know, when the light hits it. And that was something that, you know, Kimberly wanted. So.
And also if you know, if that isn't your deal, we're also going to be, you know, the original one that I'm knitting now is in the tried and true Life Yarn sport weight. So if there's a different, you know, whatever, I'm sure we're going to have
options.
many more, you know, what we have available. Well, listen to me, now that I have a yarn named after me, what we have available. You know, so it's going to be so it's going to be exciting.
Do I have a price set? Absolutely not. Now, the only reason being is because here's the thing. When I design a yarn, I pretty much am just like, okay, it's not wholesale. So my other yarns that I do with my mill, I'm like, okay, we kind of like have set categories. So this was very different in terms of all the components that go in it. So I have to wait till I get the bill. and then, you know, as truest form, unfortunately, as an appropriate business person, I'm not going to tell you it's going to cost this because it's probably going to cost me a little bit more than my regular sport weight yarns because of the special dye and, you know, what's going into it. So I would imagine it's probably going to fall more along the lines of like my farm to yarn collection, which my regular sport weight right now is running at about $38 to $40 a skein for 200 yards. And the farm to yarn collection in the sport weight is a little bit more like 48. So it's definitely going to be at the higher end because look, this is what we're doing. This is a special yarn. You know, it's an OOAK. And when it's done, it's done. So definitely get your FOMO shoes on and keep your ears peeled, and it's going to be fun.
And also, if it's not something that, you know, that you want to get 4 skeins to work with the knit along thing, you could also get 1 or 2 skeins and make, you know, make the pretty cowls that you have. You know, there are lots of other things that you can do if that's, you know, if going to price you out. Also, this is going to have a band along the bottom that's going to be knitted on. It's a and so you could do a different type of yarn for the main body and then maybe use a skein or 2 depending on how, you know, what the numbers turn out to be, you know, for that bottom band that you're going to be knitting on. So,
and guys, we have lots of free patterns. Like this yarn would be amazing for any of our fingerless mitt patterns that we have. You know, because again, remember, it's primarily a wool base. It's not my alpaca base, so it's going to feel a little bit different. We've had actually Rambouillet yarns before in my store. I know I've created fiber snobs out of all of you. Everything doesn't have to be that kind of like yummy squishy. This is going to feel a bit more like wool. It's going to be bouncy and squishy in a different way, but I totally respect it for some of you. It might not be something that you want directly against your face. So maybe you're not not going to do a scarf in it, but again, we've got fingerless mitts. You can find great sock patterns for it, I'm sure. It could be an outerwear. We've got an amazing vest pattern that actually my original, it is the Hampton Hunter vest that Lisa Hoffman did for me, who's going to be on with us on the 2nd, I believe. That original vest was done in a wool blend. So, you know, there's plenty of applications, and we will always make sure that we can offer you something to go along with it. So, and if nothing else, you can just get it and put it in a bowl and pet it.
It's like having a little bit of me.
Exactly.
Yarn bowl.
Exactly. So
Sounds
that's
like
our.
me in the bowl. I never managed to knit things up. I just have tons of your yarn to
Hey,
pet.
you know what? No joke. Like, even when I used to have a lot more variety of natural colored rovings in my store, rolling them up into bumps is what we call it, into a ball of roving, and then putting them in a bowl. It really is like the most beautiful decoration, and very sensory. So, right, like even just having yarn in a bowl and you just walk by and squish it and feel it, it's like better than having like those poopy pigs on your desk or something.
It's a collection.
Wait,
Agreed.
you look puzzled, Kimberly. You've never heard of those?
Poopy pigs.
Yeah, like they're those things you squeeze, or they have one, it's a chicken and you squeeze it and an egg pops out, but then it sucks back in. Somebody help me.
Oh,
Okay.
I've seen them. I've seen them. That freaks me out.
Stress
Really?
balls.
Like slime and stuff. And I'm very sensory. No. No.
I just love squeezing them. They're so much fun.
Ooh. And
I think it's
actually, I
supposed-
have 3 of your bumps that I bought that very first time, and I have never spun them. I still have them in a bowl.
It's like
They look so
vintage.
pretty.
I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. Well,
Something about
that's our big knit along news. I do want to, let's see where we're at before. I mean, actually, we're holding on to everybody, which is amazing. I
Thank
feel like I
you.
do want to take yes, thank you guys. Hopefully we're entertaining you. If not, I'm having a ball myself.
All right.
So,
well, do you want to talk about that?
yeah, except I was going to, because I just in case we lose anybody and then we can do it again at the end.
Yeah, let's do it.
I was going to say, I mean, look, we don't want to make this about, you know, a sales pitch in any way, but I want to make sure everybody knows about this amazing raffle basket. And Kimberly, did you remember to grab? Okay. So here's the thing. Wait, don't show it yet. Don't show it yet. Okay. So, I've talked about this a little bit, and then as always, true to form, like me, I just come up with stuff out of my butt and put things together. So I do. And so what?
Except you said but this time.
Yeah, I'm being kind. We're recording. You know, maybe some people might not like the other expressions. But actually, over like a month ago or so, if you were with me and you were with me for community night, we started putting a coupon code out there. And basically what has evolved is we had so many people that were so generous to donate for our holiday open house that we do for charity here on the farm. We had so many things we didn't even know what to do with it. And I said, you know what? There's so many of you that I know if you could be here to my farm, you would, and you would donate to our charities, but you can't. And I'm like, well, I'd love to find a way to give back to you guys. However, it would only be fair if you have to do something to get it, just like the people that show up at my farm. So when you come to my farm for my holiday open house, basically, if you shop, you get a raffle ticket for every $10 that you spend. And so we decided, because this is VIP, I've not publicized this, so it's not in my stories. It's only been if you've come to community night. There was like a live or 2 that I did where I shared it. But basically, the pool of people in which are going to be selected for this is relatively small because you have to be part of our community. And so my code is Holiday Life, LIYF. So that's the code to use. That is going to be effective until midnight, January 5th, because I'll be drawing the winner on January 6th. So basically using the code Holiday Life, it does two things. It gives you 10% off because I've not done any virtual events in November and I didn't do any in December. So that's my way of saying thanks for those of you that have always been there to support, even though I didn't do the venues. Also, that is the only way for you to get in this drawing for this raffle basket. So with the discount included, after discount, for every $10 that you spend, not including shipping costs, you will get one ticket to go in this raffle basket. That's how it works. And I will just quick run off, and I can do it again at the end. But as it happens to be, a lot of the people that are on board, which was not intentional, are in this basket. It was totaled at $463, but Kimberly is going to kick it over, and it's probably now going to be at about $550. So we'll let her show that. But basically, we've got hat patterns. We've got a blanket book from Lisa Hoffman. She'll be with us. Lori Kimmelsteele, there's a blanket pattern. She's not going to be with me, but Becky will be with me tomorrow night. Patty Lyons has given a 25% off for her online classes. Kate Atherley, we've got a Ravelry coupon for her. Follow Our Farm, my dear friend Amy Kidd, who's going to be with us later. She's got some roving in it. My dear friend Carol Ray from Buck Hollow Llamas, there's a baby alpaca scarf that's in it. There's a needle case. Chelsea Yarns has a couple of different things in it. Shepherdess Studio, which is Sally and Alex, who are going to be with us. There is a hand-woven pouch valued at like $100 in it, so one of a kind. Becky from Clinton Hill Cashmere, she donated one of her linen tote bags. We've got 2 sets of bamboo needles. Asylum Fibers, Stephanie, who's going to be with us also. There's 2 things from her. There's a mini skein set, and then a sock yarn that's also in here. Vogue Knitting, they've got a reference book, and then there's a needle travel guide book, which actually is like lists all of the quilting stores and sewing stores and yarn stores across the country. So that book will be in there. And we will be mailing this to you free of charge. So again, this is the basket that we've got put together for everybody. And Kimberly, what are you going to add to it now?
A hoagie bag.
It's a hoagie bag. Guys, I will tell you, so Kimberly put together a basket for us last year, and it was a pink hoagie bag with like yarn and other stuff, and it was actually our most popular
Oh my gosh.
at our open house. So I don't even know what that value is, but it's got to be at least $75, I'm thinking.
Yeah.
When is this drawing?
So the drawing is going to be on February 6th on the Zoom. That's our 12th day of Christmas.
You
So
mean
I'm
January 6th?
Yes.
Okay.
It's our 12th. It's a Friday night. So make no plans. I'm your party. And basically we're going to Zoom. I'll post the time. I decided I'm not going to have any guests. I'm going to have people live here with me for anybody that wants to join and they're local. But any of my guests can also jump on board, and it's just going to be a free for all. And we will be drawing the basket, and we will be naming the baby llama, and we're just going to have a party and just chop it up.
If we can't be, if for some reason we can't be here because my granddaughter has an art showing in Frank Sinatra, could I still be in the drawing?
Oh, absolutely. Look, you don't have to be in it to win it. If you've made your purchase and your ticket is in and you get drawn, whether you're present or not, you will absolutely still win. I'm just going to announce it publicly. I'll have somebody else draw it so it's nice and fair so everybody can see. And it's just a reason for hopefully everybody to come back with me on February 6th to be part of that. So thanks to Kimberly for adding in another amazing gift. And like I said, now it's probably valued at about $550 easily. So that can all go to one winner. And I'm really, guys, this is going to be a tradition as far as I'm concerned. God willing, we're all still here again next year. I'm just thrilled that I came up with this idea to be able to thank all of you that can't get to my farm and can't be part of things that we do here in person. So tell a friend if you want.
Yeah.
I mean, you probably don't want to, and I get that, but the whole point is community. We want to meet new people. We want new people to be on board. So be selfless, tell a friend, have them join us, or look, for all I care, I don't care, you can share the code, but we want new people to be with us and to join us and just have fun.
I was selfless until there was a Hoagie Locatelli bag.
Exactly.
Well,
Can we
okay,
pre-order?
it could be conditional. Look, you just have to be strategic. If you bring a friend in on this, you're like, look, if you win, I get the bag, you can have the rest. I mean, just like play the game.
That's valid.
Can we
Valid, valid. I
pre-order?
didn't think of that.
Can we pre-order the Kimberly yarn?
No, I'm not doing it as a pre-order because I love the FOMO. I love cart napping. But no, and honestly, I'll be totally upfront. I did pre-order stuff in the past, and look, sometimes life gets in the way, and I'm always transparent. I always say my apologies, and so I personally hate the pre-order stuff. I know the yarn is being made. I know it's coming, but I'm gonna wait until it's in my hands, and then we'll decide from there. But more than likely, it's probably not gonna roll out until something as Vogue Knitting Live. But I will absolutely, there'll be a VIP, because my thought is, look, I love having people rush to my booth at, a live in-person event for fun things, but those that are in the know, there will be a special VIP, like you can get it first kind of thing. 100%. So
And the band will be autographed?
What? I didn't even think of that. We could.
I'm just saying, come on, give us something
I
special.
love it.
It's recorded.
And I think that maybe a chance, if we're here every day, no matter what our internet is like, that we should have like a little, like half a
No,
chance
look,
or something.
No, I did. I think you missed that earlier, Dawn. I did say, the thing is, honestly, I get so caught up in this like fun, truthfully, and I don't have anybody managing this for me like I usually do. So there's certain names and faces that I see, and I do think it's cool. Like I guess I could go back and watch it, but if I recognize people that are actually with us every night, like, look, if I could do something, I would. And if nothing else, you absolutely get our love and adoration, and we appreciate the dedication, because again, I'll be the first one to tell you guys, I was scared as shit to do this. And I never realized how intimidated I was to try something new and to be afraid to fail. And I didn't want to be a loser sitting on here with nobody here, but not so much for me. I have people that are giving up their time. Like, I've committed to giving up my time. What the hell else am I doing? And it was more the obligation to other people that were jumping on board, that I would feel so bad if there was an audience for them, if there wasn't some value to my guests. That's more of the pressure that I felt. And so far, even into day 2, you guys have showed up and delivered. And I just thank you for helping my thoughts and my dreams like to come to fruition and have it be valuable for the people that also were willing to jump off a ledge with me. And I really, really mean that. So it was scary to get this out here. So thank you for all of you being a part of it.
Thank you. I have something to look forward to. I am in this RV with the yarn caddy, and
Well,
it's 34 feet, but it's 12 feet long, unless I'm looking for a particular skein that I have hidden somewhere. Then it's 84 feet long,
Well, look, and it
thank
comes in all different forms, because I don't have a big family either, right? And I think we all have to remember that there are people that, we were making fun of Jill, my office manager. She's like, there's way too many activities. I was asking her to do something next weekend. I can't. She's like, I need to decompress. There's too many activities. But, there's other people that don't have those activities. And I think we have to remember that. There's people that choose to not have activities, right? And then there's people that just don't have activities coming to them, whether it's, small family, lack of family. And I think we forget about that. And again, we get to Christmas and everything comes to a halt. And this really was my idea, to just bring us all together, to continue to celebrate and literally bring in the new year. You can bring in the new year with me. Stephanie from Asylum Fibers, kudos to her, was like, I'll do New Year's Eve with you. I'm like, that's amazing. We're not going to be on till midnight. But, I don't go out for New Year's Eve. I don't want to be out there, and so I'm just excited. Anyway, so thank you, everybody.
Now, I would like you to promise you are not going to delay the naming until the yarn comes out, right?
No. I
No.
promise, because literally you are my nemesis and it's okay. I love being roasted. You know
I am not your nemesis. I am his advocate. He has PTSD because he doesn't have a name.
he doesn't.
He is really feeling like, she just doesn't care.
No,
He doesn't
knows
realize that
he's my
it's because
favorite.
you're so emotionally attached. You're trying not to show favoritism. He's really getting the other end of this. He
No,
really
you know what
is
it is? He
misinterpreting
needs the
this.
most perfect name. So I labor too much
Oh,
over
but
it.
see, no, but now you're going to put more pressure on him when he finds out about
Damn,
that.
it's me.
Because
I'm the one with the
nobody is
pressure.
perfect, and you're going to try to make him perfect, and he's going to have that PTSD.
He,
You can't
he doesn't
do
care
that.
as long as he
This
gets
is why I
fed.
don't have children. He's gonna grow up with a complex, right? He's gonna be like, I can't live up to my
Just
mom.
name him
Tabitha,
Bob.
let me do one better for you. I only have one daughter. That's because I have been in an 8-year court battle with my brother since my mom passed away, and I lost my dad in August, and this has been like the worst Christmas. So I'm going to tell you, this has like been a godsend that we have this, that I have a little bit of something to distract me beyond Christmas.
Thank you. Absolutely.
I named my daughter a name, and I'm not going to say what it is. I might tell you later, just us, but
Okay.
she comes to me a few years ago and she goes, "You named me after a breed of sheep?" And I'm like,
I think that's
no,
amazing.
but that's a bonus.
Right.
And I looked it
I mean,
up, and I
there's
go to her and
worse things.
I said, no, wait a minute. I didn't mean to, but understand this is a very expensive breed of sheep.
I love it. I love it. Well, she will learn to appreciate it. Absolutely. Absolutely. And thank you for that. And like I said, this
Oh,
is
thank
exactly
you.
why I wanted to do it. That's the
But I now have witnesses. You can't delay it.
I'm not delaying it.
Okay, you
Trust me.
can't. I'm
It is the
advocating. You
culminating-
can't.
It is the culminating event. I promise. 100%. I promise.
I have two things.
Okay.
One, I have a coupon code for everybody
Yes.
that is effective now until the 5th or 6th of January. I don't know what it is. Every single one of my patterns will be 20% off for you on Ravelry. And the code is the number 12. Shoot. 12 days. So it's the number 12, DAYS, and you will get 20% off any of my patterns. If you buy 5 of them, you get 20% off all of them. And that is my thank you for all of you for coming on here and listening to, us. Thank you, Jennifer. Also, it's in the chat. That's exactly what it looks like. Also, I want to talk about Vlogmas really, really quickly. I have a YouTube channel, Knit a Rainbow on YouTube. And I actually did Vlogmas this year. For those of you that don't know what it is, you film every single day. I had 3 different advents that I opened. And I knit one of the advent shawls that was put out by Suburban Stitcher. And I'm just finishing it up. I will be finished with it tonight, actually. And it was so much fun. But it also had projects on there for you, tutorials, like special tricks that I do with my knitting, how to finish an edging without having that little jog there. That was all on there. Bye, Jennifer.
Bye, Jennifer.
And so if you wanted to go over to Knit a Rainbow on YouTube and subscribe, that would be the greatest gift you could give for me. And so Knit a Rainbow on YouTube. What you can make on there is look at these cute little trees. Aren't they adorable? So I have a little tutorial on how to do these trees. There's like pom-pom thing. And then there was one thing that I showed that I didn't finish. And the reason why is I didn't have the person that I needed to get the goods out for me, but I have her right here. And the other thing is this wreath. So coming up, Tabitha is going to, she's going to be the supplier of the locks.
Look, I got them here. Can you see?
I do, and they're perfect. So
I specifically went and grabbed these right before the Zoom. You should have seen me rummaging in my attic.
So Tabitha will have the locks for you. I don't know about pricing or anything like that, but the tutorial will be free on my YouTube channel.
Yeah,
It's
these are not going to be free. I
those-
gotta
the
wash
locks
these
are not
bad
gonna be
boys.
free, but this doesn't just have to be out,
It's
for the
so
holidays, right? Look how great it is.
So what is underneath it, or you can't tell us?
I can. It's a form. It's just it's a metal form
Okay.
that I got from Michael's. Very,
Okay.
very easy to get. And you can make different sizes. But the great thing about it is these locks are knit in, and so it's a little, cool technique. And you have this great, like, I just put this on because I gave it to my neighbor and I ran over and grabbed it again. For all of you.
I did
But-
know that beforehand. I was like, do you have something to show? She's like, I'll go steal it from my neighbor.
I know. I called her. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to need that present back just for a little bit. And then I love the way it looks. It does not take very long at all to do. You could make not just white, you could make, a
Yeah, I was gonna
gray
say, well,
one,
I
a
also-
natural,
This is-
that would be beautiful. And like hang
Yeah.
it up, I just have it, right here. But it on a door, on a fence, it just it's so that will be coming up in the next couple of weeks. And then I of course will have a link where you can go to Tabitha's site and purchase the locks for that. But yeah, so that's coming up on the blog or the vlog. That's what I have. I wanted to get that in.
No. Like I said, I specifically, you should see me looking through all my bags and I'm pulling out curls because, one of the things Kimberly said was it had to be a certain length, and it's not always easy to get these longer locks based on the age of the sheep. So these are all Cotswold locks. And so I will have some in naturally colored, but I got to get them to Kimberly. We've got to figure out how many we need because I have no idea. And then I'll put kits together. But even could you imagine, so for anybody that knows needle felting, you could even just needle felt, like I'm thinking, it's more Christmas, but like the top of a stocking.
Oh yeah.
There's, people do purchase these locks to make like Santa Claus dolls and things like that. So it has a lot of different applications, but
And
yeah.
trees, like you can needle felt the locks in different layers and make trees. Oh, there's just so many things you can do. So anyway, they're so cute. So sweet. So that was what I did with Vlogmas. I absolutely loved it. There's my family recipes are on there, my favorite cookie recipes. I am pretty famous, not gonna, not to show off, but my apple crisp is delicious. So that's on there. There's just a lot. So if you wanted to go watch my Vlogmas, that would be great. If not, if you would subscribe to my channel, I would really appreciate it.
And Kimberly's going to help me with my journey.
Yes, I'm going to help her with her YouTube channel. Just because it's just another avenue for people to, to get to know you. And, it's just another way.
We're going to do it. It's 2023. We're going to do it.
This is the time. Look out. Right?
Oh my gosh. What do we got here? Is
the sugar cookie recipe. I did not do it yet. I did not do it yet, Kimberly, but I will. I have not uploaded 24 and 25 yet. I am editing them, but I just had a holiday hangover, man. On Monday I could barely move. So today I'm feeling better. I actually have my studio set up again. We had to take it down because we had family staying. I had 21 people for Christmas Eve and Christmas. That's a lot.
That is.
So,
I see, I
yeah.
don't know, somebody was asking what are the locks? I'm not sure if that was before I answered it. So at least the locks that I'm gonna have available are Cotswold. So they are a breed of sheep that are in the long wool breed category. Here on our farm, we have Mumford and Clover, which they are both a natural white, but I also shear a lot of naturally colored Cotswold as well. So that's where I will also have some gray, which I guess I'll have to think about maybe how to package this, because personally I think it would be super cool to even do like a white and a gray.
I think it would be awesome.
Just even whether it's again holiday or not. So lots of different options, but I'm super excited. There's so many different things that we can do with fleeces and the curls, and I just love people being so creative. So we're both like, I dare
I know. What are you talking about,
Uh-huh.
Dawn?
to
You're
sing.
Just sing about yarn. You have to sing about it in real life. Like, bye Tracy, love you too. See you
Bye,
soon. Oh, bye
Amy.
Amy.
Thank you
No,
guys.
I'm gonna have to wrap it
Okay.
up soon as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm going to warn you, wear earplugs, but go to Vlogmas #4. That is the only one I have that anybody has seen.
No.
And you sing on it? Just
Yeah,
about
okay,
yarn?
we'll call
Or
it
does
that.
Or does it have to be like a favorite Christmas carol?
No, I just what it was is there's a lady called, I can't think of her name now, and she did it. And a couple other people I had seen on the Instagram thing, and I thought, oh, okay, it's a thing, it's a challenge, I'll do it. I don't think anybody else did it and posted it,
Oh,
and I just took, okay, 'cause it's yarn as a sport. I just took "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" as my tune,
Oh,
and
there you
did
go.
other words,
cool.
and it's wear earplugs and read my lip, read.
Oh, that's
So,
so cute.
But it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
So there is singing on my vlog, but it was, so my oldest son is a senior at Providence College, and he said to us, he said, Mom and Dad, there's like a fall thing where he actually made the a cappella group.
Oh, wow.
And he said, oh, just come up for what, for this fall thing. So we go up and he had a solo. And so that I actually was filming, and it's on the vlog, and you hear me like crazy mom mode, like the screams that came out of me. Poor Graham, that's my son's name, Graham. Graham was like, oh, I knew you were there, Mom. I was like, yeah.
Oh, that's
You
amazing.
can take the girl out of Jersey.
Oh, very
So
cool.
anyway, that I see you, Stephanie. So that is what I have. Do you have anything?
I don't. I mean, like I said, we just kind of roll. We never really know what's going to happen. And we had a lot to cover. So there wasn't even a lot of shooting the shit. Like, we've got legit stuff coming up, which I am so excited about. And of course, just to remind everybody again, don't forget about the holiday life code. So I will say, I'm somebody, and if you're in this same boat, I don't rush to get like all my Christmas gifts done by the 25th. Like, I have a lot of business colleagues, different things like that. Actually, even Kimberly, I have the perfect gift that I'm sending to you. I can't wait. I looked it up like one night when I couldn't sleep, and then I just didn't pull the trigger, but it's coming. I couldn't get it there in 5 minutes a night. What?
Is it shepherdess salve?
No, it's you'll see. It's fun. It's fun. Anyway, so my point is, we do still have a lot of stuff online. If you're looking just for little gifts and things like that, stocking stuffers, just little thank yous for people, or treat yourself. We will, have some other exciting things. My second drop for my candle is going to be coming up during this week, and lots of other fun stuff. We've got 2 yarn drops that are going to be happening. I literally have a box of yarn sitting in my office that I will not open, but Jill is like, well, I think I better open it just to make sure like it's good to go. I'm like, all right, well, open it and tape it back, and I'm not going to look at it. So we got lots of fun stuff planned. Keep watching my stories. I'll update you guys on all the speakers and things like that. dare I say, I've got a text here from Becky. Some things are going on, so there might be a change for tomorrow night. We'll figure it out. But either way, I just want to say thank you to everybody for spending your evening with us. I never know how long it's going to go, and I appreciate those of you that are kind of jumped in and out. Please give me your feedback on Instagram. Like the feedback I got last night was amazing. I sent it to Sophie. I will do the same. Many of you follow Kimberly. If you don't follow her, you better be following her. That's the whole point of this. Don't forget her coupon code. Be sure to show her some love for being a part of this with me, and stay tuned for our knit-alongs. And yeah, don't forget February 6th. Hopefully I'll get as many guest speakers to come back. I will name the baby and we will do the raffle drawing. And
January
January
6th. You
What did I
said
say?
February. See,
February.
you're gonna
Oh my
delay
God,
it. I
sorry.
know
January
you're gonna
6th.
delay it.
January 6th. January 6th. Well, I just feel like I'm going to be Zooming for the rest of my life right now. So anyway, with that, guys, I appreciate you all so much. Look forward to seeing you in the chats, and we will be posting this as well to YouTube. So hang tight for that so you can share that with your friends. And thank you, everybody. All right. Good night, guys. Much love to everybody.
Thank
so
you.
much.
Bye.
Happy holidays.